Hello, everybody. I'm here today to just give a small guide on the agility stacking tier that I think you've seen quite a lot of people playing. Disclaimer, this is the high-end version of the build. It's pretty expensive. It's nowhere near min-maxed, right? There's so many things that you could upgrade, but it's gotten to a spot where I am quite comfortable and I'm not dying that much. Okay, so let's begin with how the build even works, right? Like, how do I have 300 health and not die to like every single thing in the game? Okay, so to begin, we should look at the hero trait of Thea. So, or more of like the relic and memories that you use. So, firstly, we're using compensatory divinity. This says plus 5% hero memory effect for every stack of blessing consumed by the divine realm when the divine realm is active, and stacks up to 20 times. So as long as you're consuming 20 blessings when you cast your Divine Realm, you will have maximum effect for this relic. Right, so we use 3 following the gods, so this rolls up to 2.5% additional damage to full life enemies for every stack of agility blessing and stacks up to 20 times. So you run 3 of these, and when you consume 20 blessings, you basically have double effect to all of them. Right? Okay, so we can go through the hero traits. So this one just gives additional damage to full life enemies for every stack of agility blessing and stacks up to 20 times again. And converts all tenacity blessings to agility blessings while outside the divine realm. For the second one, you can swap between these. I usually go for this because I'm kind of lazy to cast it myself, but it's definitely personal preference on which one you want. Because sometimes this may cast the divine realm in weird spots, like in a proximity shield, and then you kind of have zero damage, right? Next we have ingenuity, which is just increased duration, and also increase and decrease of max tenacity blessings. It's also applied to agility blessings while you're outside the divine realm. So this whole character involves you not staying inside the circle, right? Like you avoid the circle at all costs. Once you go inside, you basically just lose everything, right? You lose all your damage, you lose all your buffs and everything. So you want to stay out of the circle as much as you can. Alright, so next we have Divine Realm Balancing. Just gives you attack speed, cast speed for every stack of Agility Blessing. So as you can see, you just want to stack as many Agility Blessings as you can. And lastly, for Divine Spirit, I don't even think this is probably some translation error again or spelling error. But yes, this is basically what the build is based on, right? If you haven't hit 80, you will feel like you're doing zero damage because you will be doing zero damage. Um, yeah. So it says when dealing damage outside of the divine realm with a higher percentage of life than you, they will be considered full life enemies. So what this means is if you're at 10% life and the enemy is 11% life, you will they will be considered a full life enemy, right? And all of these will proc. Which is why if some of you are trying to build and you realize you're not doing any damage, it's probably because the enemies are at a higher life threshold than you. Okay, so if this is the case, like how do you actually kill stuff? Because as long as they have more health than you will lose all your damage. I mean, less life than you lose all your damage. So this is the part where you can do two things, right? For me, the easiest is always just to get elimination, which eliminates enemies under 18% life on hit. So as long as you are below 18% life, so if you're at 80% or 17% life and the enemy is at 18% life, they will be eliminated when you hit them, which means you don't have to care about lowering your health lower than that point. As this is just how the mechanic works, right? So this is the easiest, the cull at 18%. The other way you can do this is also through what do you call that? There is a stat on one of these divinity slates that says, eliminate enemies under 8% life. So that's a bit more iffy in a sense that you need to reserve up to 95% of your life or 92% of your life in order for the cull to work because the threshold is only at 8%. Okay, so that's how the mechanic works. I will now go through the gear. So first off, we are using 2 End Night Banquets. This is just max agility blessings, increased critical strike, damage, and flat damage, which is, you kind of need this for the build to work to give you all your crit strike chance, damage, and flat damage. Alright, so we use 2 of these. This also gives +1 agility blessings. The goal is to hit a minimum of 20 blessings because that's where all your bonuses stack up to, right? everything all stacks up to 20 times, so you want to hit 20 agility blessings most of the time, right? But the more the better. All right. So next we have two rings. You can either get max agility blessing or max tenacity blessings, because max tenacity blessings also apply to agility blessings while you're outside the divine realm. So plus these are basically just +2 rings. You can use another ring, which is I'll go through that later. Next we have a two-faced belt with 3 additional stacks. Of course you can always get the +4, but that's going to cost a lot more. If we just check here, I have no idea how much this costs. Yeah, it's like 1.5k. It's pretty expensive. Your main goal is just to hit 20 stacks to hit the max benefits. Anything plus over that is a bonus. All right, next we have. I'll go through the boots later. We have legendary soldier spectacles. So what this gives is, firstly, you have Euphoria, which gives you +1 agility blessings and increased evasion for each stack of agility blessing, which is just a nice bonus to have. You also have 0.5% additional attack damage for every 1% of life loss. So the wording in this game is a bit bizarre. When they say life lost, based off what I have tested, is basically referring to sealed life, not actually the amount of life that you lose, like in the past, don't know what, like seconds. So this just means sealed life, right? If Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't think we really have much like data on what everything does. But life lost is basically, or missing life, 5% of missing life is basically your sealed life, right? All right, so 2% of life loss, you gain more attack speed, cast speed. So this just gives you more life loss, more attack damage and cast speed. Next, we have Crimson King, which is also really expensive. So the nice thing is that it converts 100% of mana cost to life cost, so you can seal all your mana without having to worry about the mana cost at all. The main thing is also -2% additional damage taken for every 5% of missing life. So if we are missing, sealing 90% of our life, we basically get 36% less damage taken from the chest. Same thing for Feline Glass with this corruption. We are getting another 42% less damage taken because we have 21 agility blessings. And same thing for Shooting Star. I was using a -3% before getting this. But yeah, so 90 divided by 5 times 3.7, we're getting 66.6 less damage taken because of our sealed life. Alright, so all these pieces are for your survivability. Like before getting Crimson King, I was using a different chest piece, and you will feel like you are dying a lot. But after you get, the required pieces, which is also very expensive, you will be relatively tanky. Alright, so coming on to the boot slots. The boot slots, I've seen a lot of people using a lot of different things. So firstly, we have these general war boots. So this is just in general movement speed and damage per agility blessing, which is kind of nice and also gives you a bit of generation when you move around. The second one is, if I can find it here, is this Royal Guard boots. This may be wrong wording, right? Because this, I think it should be -10% additional erosion damage taken for every 5% of missing life, because it doesn't make sense for you to take more erosion damage for every missing life. So this essentially gives you more erosion resistance in a sense, and you can get a corrupt with less minus all rest so that you're not as tanky. So what I found is having resistances on the build actually does make you a lot tankier compared to if you have no resistances, for sure, right? Because I thought that if you have all this less damage taken, you'll be relatively tanky, but you don't actually, you still die to things, but once I actually got more resistances and stuff like that, it feels way better in terms of survivability. So boot slots, I opted for just going for triple T1 res, some elemental damage and flat life. I got pretty lucky. I crafted this on my first try. Yeah, but it shouldn't be too hard to craft boots like this. So I have pretty much covered the gear and the boot slots that you can get. Alright, so we can move on to our talents now. So God of Might, this is the part where I'm just going to scroll through. You can pause the video or look through to see what I'm taking. In general, most of the time you'll be taking damage notes, but I have swapped to getting a little bit more life on the tree. If I can find the life nodes somewhere here. But yeah, I have opted to getting more life because with the amount of damage that I'm already doing, I'm focusing more on surviving more rather than getting, that 10 billion more damage. So yeah, I have been taking more life so that I have a higher life pool to actually survive more hits. So same thing for getting elemental resistances while tenacity blessings are active so that I can cap my res. Yeah, so if you really wanted to, you can drop life and get more damage instead. So same thing for druid. Uh, yeah, that's basically the tree that I'm taking. You could swap this out for something else. I think I may swap that out. All right, talking about our divinity slates. So firstly, we have this corner, which has the main thing you want is 25% additional attack damage against full life. This is just standard more damage because enemies are always on full life when we want it to be. Next, we have attack speed for every 1% of life loss. So same thing, this is 90% life loss if you're sealing 90% of your life, and you get 45% attack speed. And also additional damage against cursed enemies is nice because we cast Scorch. I'll go through my skills later on. Okay, next we have a Corner of Divinity. So the main thing you want to get here is additional attack speed if you have dealt a critical strike recently, which you should be kept crit anyways. We have this max agility blessings plus one. It's just a stack of agility blessing. The rest of the stats just get something useful. This is not that great. I probably will replace this eventually, just that I haven't got around to doing that yet. And also this God of Machines Divinity. So I've got max life and Ellie res on the prefixes, right? So if you wanted to, you could get this on the prefix, which is kind of expensive to have. You can roll this normally. So what you would do is you just get good prefixes that you want or are looking for, and you'll just upgrade until you get +1 to all blessings, which is +2 because tenacity and agility both apply to your max agility blessings. So yeah, so for your pedigree, there's two things that you can do. So the first one is Flash of Brilliance. So Flash of Brilliance gives you one stack of Agility Blessing when a non-channeled mobility skill is used, and 25% chance to gain max stacks of Agility Blessing when Agility Blessing is gained. So this basically means if you consume your stacks, if you just Leap Slam probably once or twice, you will gain full stacks of Agility Blessings. Right, so it's very, very nice for generation. At the start, I was thinking, okay, if I consume blessings, if I attack, I'll get back my full stacks quick, right? Because our hero trait makes it so that we have a 10% chance to gain a stack of blessings for every stack of divine blessing consumed by the divine realm. But what I found is that it does take some time to ramp your agility blessings up, and that's kind of annoying, especially when you use this and you accidentally touch your thing, and then now you have to generate your blessings again. So Flash of Brilliance is really a very big QOL feature. Another thing is we do lose agility blessings every time we get hit. 3 stacks of agility blessings when get hit. If I am not wrong, these all stack, so you actually lose 9 agility blessings when you get hit, which is why you do get less tanky when you get hit because you lose the minus damage taken from this, which is what I realized, right? When I was using a different pedigree. So this other pedigree that I was talking about is actually No Loose Ends, which gives you 35% additional attack damage at low life. So this is basically 35% additional damage non-stop because you're always at full life. But yes, in terms of QOL, it's just way better to use Flash of Brilliance in my opinion. So regarding the ring that I was talking about, there is a trinket that you could use. A ring that you could use if I can find it here. So legendary gear. It's called Fury Valve, but you need a specific corruption on it, which is kind of expensive to get. Uh, yeah, it's like 900. So it basically gives you kind of the same thing as Flash of Brilliance, but it is slightly better because you get max stacks when agility blessing is gained. Oh no, it's basically the same thing, right? It's basically the same thing. Yeah. So you have Flash of Brilliance on this, but you do lose the 25% chance to gain agility blessing while using, a mobility skill, which is how I mainly generate agility blessings at the start of the map or start of the boss fight or anything like that. All right, so now let's go on to the skills. Firstly, we're using Berserking Blade with Recklessness, Raid, Raging Slash, Crit Damage, and Elemental Fusion. So Recklessness is just damage, Raid gives you double damage and Crit Strike chance per agility Blessing, Raging Slash for Steep Strike attempts, Elemental Fusion and Crit Strike damage increase. So if you are mapping and you don't need the damage, you would change Elemental Fusion to increase area and Critical Strike damage to Steamroll, right? Because they give you more AoE. So it just makes your clear better in maps because you don't need 100 billion damage in maps, you know? Alright, next we have Scorch, Abysmal Hatred, Terrain of Malice, and Cost Conversion. Oh wait, do I need Cost Conversion? I don't think I need Cost Conversion anymore actually. I forgot to change this after I swapped to King Crimson. So we should probably change this to something else, maybe like Pain Amplification for extended duration. Yeah, you probably change this to something else or get a link somewhere else. Yeah, because King Crimson already changes everything. Alright, so we have Leap Attack with Periodic Burst, which gives you more attack speed and cast speed, and also Harden, which gives you, minus 25% additional damage taken, which is always nice because you want to reduce the amount of damage that you take. Bull's Rage with Self-Sacrifice, Well-Fought Battle, and Mass Effect. Well-Fought Battle is for duration, but if you wanted to, you could change to Mania for increased status effect. But I kind of like Well-Fought Battle because of the increased duration, and also, it gives you increased effect while it lasts. Alright, Fearless Warcry for your Steep Strike attempts, which gives you more AoE. Lion's Roar extended duration. I could probably drop Cost Conversion and get Powerful Warcry instead. Okay, for your links, so this is quite important. Firstly, we're using Precise Weapon Amplification, Fearless Elemental Rest, Stand as 1, and Swiftness. So this is reserving mana. So Swiftness is there because it reserves a flat amount of mana and you can just reserve majority of your mana. Next, we have Precise Euphoria on hit. So this casts Fixate, Burst of Anger, and Acute, not acute imbueness, but Fixate and Burst of Anger when you are hitting an elite enemy. And also, you do seal conversion. So what you want to do is to have all your seal conversions at level 1 because you want to reserve more of your life, right? How you reset this is in your inventory. If you want a level 1 skill, right, all you need to do is click this and click reset level and you can get a level 1 skill. So that's how you get level 1 cost conversion. Alright, seal conversion. And we also have auto defense, delayed pain, frost shield, and seal conversion. So this rejuvenation is what you're going to do in order to tweak your percentage life. Because some people may have more life, may have less life. So rejuvenation reserves like a flat amount, right? So if you need to reserve more life, you will just level up your rejuvenation. If you want to reduce the amount, you will use like a level 1 rejuvenation, etc, etc. Right, so you can see your percentage here, even though it's not exactly very clear, but it says 90%. Hold on, 90 point. Okay, I may have to drop 90 point something percent life, which means I am reserving more than 90% of my life. Right, you want to hit thresholds of 5% for your Crimson King, right? For every 5% of missing life. So you want to hit either 90 or 95 threshold. I think 90 is a good balance between having enough life to sustain things, and also have like all the less damage bonuses. Yeah, so this is my skill setup. You can copy it if you want. There are things that you can change. Things like you can change this to either Thunder Spirit or Flame Spirit for crit or attack speed, cast speed. I just found that preciseness, acuteness imbue gave me more damage than the other two. But sometimes the dummy is weird and doesn't actually calculate your damage properly. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. So yes, other things to note, like I said, the dummy is weird. What the full combo is going to be is once you have your agility blessings up, you will cast your Divine Realm. I usually do, and then you just cast all your buffs, right? You can curse, boost rage, warcry, and then start attacking. If you wanted to, you could leap attack for periodic burst, and then you start doing your burst. Right? That is going to be the full burst combo. Actually, yeah. So warcry, and then you will do your damage. So the dummy DPS is kind of funky. If you really wanted to do your DPS showcase, you would change elimination to burnout, but realistically, you will always be using elimination. Otherwise, you can't really kill enemies past a certain point because you lose all the bonuses from your relic and all your passives. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to show. I could probably add a map showcase after this if you want to see what the gameplay looks like in maps or like a POB 5. But yeah, I just want to make this video so that it could help some people who are trying out the build and give you explain how the mechanics work and things like that. Alright, I think that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on my stream if you want to come and join me. Alright, bye bye.